Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. We're going to talk a little segment about Cardano final price. I've done Cardano videos before, but this is kind of a new way to look at it. And we're talking, what is Cardano's price, 5, 10 years from now after we achieve mass adoption for crypto? Right now, Ethereum's market cap is 73 billion. We're going to go with 72 billion because it was 72 billion when I started working on the nuts and bolts of this video. And 72 billion is a little bit even number. That makes it a little easier for me to work with, and it's pretty close to 73 billion anyways. So let's say that in 5 to 10 years, Ethereum's market cap, or not Ethereum's market cap, the entire market cap for mainnets is 20 times what it is now. So we're talking about some serious money. We're talking about $1.44 trillion in all the mainnets. Now that doesn't include Bitcoin. I don't really consider Bitcoin one of the mainnets. It is a mainnet, but no one's really going to use it for smart contract and stuff. It can't scale. You'd have stuff like Ethereum, Flare, you'd have Cardano, Polkadot, all these things downwards, and all those put together will be hopefully be about 1.44 trillion over 10 times what it is today for all of them put together, probably closer to 15, 18 times what it is today, because right now Ethereum is the big 900-pound gorilla. It dominates probably 90+% of the market. In 5 to 10 years, that's probably not going to be the case. So with the entire market cap of the mainnets being $1.44 trillion, and that's a big number. That's bigger than Apple or Amazon right now, I believe. Actually, I didn't really check Amazon's market cap, but $1.44 trillion within somewhere in 5 to 10 years. How much of that will Cardano take? Let's say Cardano is very successful, right? Because we have to do this projection with Cardano being very successful. Otherwise, if it fails, there's no point in doing a projection. So some of you are saying, well, why don't we just take 1.44 trillion divided by the 40 billion tokens that Cardano will actually have out? I don't think you can do that. Even if you're very, very successful, there is no way you're going to take over 100% of the market. You are competing with, first of all, Ethereum, which is the 900-pound gorilla in the room. And then you're also competing with stuff like Flare, Polkadot, and all that stuff. And every one of those will take a chunk. Plus, there's going to be specialized smart contract platforms for a certain company. So you're not going to take 100% of the market. I think in 5 to 10 years, out of that $1.44 trillion, I think if you can take with Cardano 20% of the market, 20% of the market, I think that is actually going to be, I actually think that would actually be a very, very good place to be at, because 20% of the market means you are a big player. It doesn't mean you're the super monopolistic dominant player, because I really don't think that's really plausible for us to really forecast and gauge, because I don't think there's going to be a super monopolistic dominant player. I do think there's going to be several networks competing. So I'm going to say 20% of the market. That makes you a very, very big player, and it will give you roughly, a 28.8 billion, no, $288 billion market cap to work with, and over 40 billion coins. That would give you kind of a high point of $7.2 per Cardano, which, if you really look at it right now, is 50 times where it is. So you're getting 50x in 5 to 10 years. And that's kind of a stable value, a stable value for Cardano, how much it could actually be worth. $7.2 in maybe 5 to 10 years. Now, there's another scenario that I actually like to mention, and that is, what if Ethereum continues to be the biggest player? And I think that is a very real possibility, because let's be honest, Ethereum has a big head start in terms of getting adoption, and it's where all the enterprises and DeFi is right now. And it's going to be hard to get people to switch off, even if you have a better product, because they have money locked into it. We know that Coinbase adds ERC20 tokens like crazy because they're invested in ERC20. So it's going to be hard to make that seismic shift, even if you have a much better product, or how great your product is. So let's say in 5 to 10 years, Ethereum still has 50% of the market. And then the rest of everyone else is competing for the other 50%. Now in that type of a scenario, of the 50% that's not controlled by Ethereum, I think you can sort of project Cardano at about 30% of that market, which actually, if you do all the same calculations again, that would give Cardano roughly a $5.4 kind of settled price. And I think if you look at Cardano as being successful in 5 or 10 years, between those two values, between $5.4 and $7.2, I think that's kind of where I would set the gauge in that amount of time, once blockchain and smart contracts, if blockchain and smart contracts gain mass adoption, and Cardano is successful in that field, somewhere between 5.4 and 7.2 dollars per token. And that's assuming the mainnet market reaches about $1.44 trillion altogether. Now, if you want to talk about a FOMO price, you can probably double or triple that. It's not going to be 10 times that because by that time the market will have settled down a lot. You're not going to get like 10x, 20x FOMOs on these large projects. 2 or 3 maybe during a bull run, but that's about it. So, but in a settled price, like 5.4 to $7.2, yes, a FOMO price, you'd be looking somewhere between like $10 and $20. So I still think that's a very, very good investment. May not be what you're hoping for. You won't have your like 10,000 Cardano make you like tens of millions of dollars, but you can actually get in right now and make a lot of money, assuming these projects are actually successful. So that's my projection. That's kind of what my thoughts are, like 5.4 to 7.2 dollars if Cardano is successful, if mainnet networks are actually successful. Because there's going to be a lot of players. You're not going to be dominant. You're not going to be like the dominant player. You'll be one of the big players, but probably not the dominant player. So that is the video for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.